Well, I hope you guys like the maintenance videos because no surprise, there's more and more and more to do. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I don't know what's going on. It's running, it's on. Uh-oh. Oh, that was really bad. It immediately lost power on one of the motors. I got both the cowlings off right now. This starter has been giving me issues intermittently. Randomly, the gear will pop up and it'll slowly spin, but it just sounds really bad and it's not firing the motor. And then, I don't know, started smacking the starter a bunch of times and smashing this gear to come back down, trying it again, then eventually it'll fire up and then won't have any issues the rest of the day, but every once in a while it gets stuck and it's just not going. I don't know if the starter's just getting weak or what's going on. I threw a little bit of marine grease on there, I don't know, just to help it out a little bit. You see, I just kind of stuffed it in there. And now what I'm about to do is tackle the VST. Vapor separator. From all of my research that I've done, it seems like the issue I'm having with these motors where I'm cruising around 4,000 RPMs and the starboard side motor will drop intermittently just 500 RPMs. It'll drop down for like a second or two, then pop back up. You can really feel the boat lagging and then it'll come right back, and then full throttle, it'll clear it out for a minute. And so it kind of seems like it's a fuel related issue. It seems like it's a pretty likely cause. So I'm going to tear apart the VST today, which I've never done that in my life. Didn't even know what VST meant when I woke up this morning. But the thing that's confusing me is this one. If you could see this gasket, it looks pretty new. Like this thing, the whole assembly looks decently new. And then you look at this one, this gasket looks absolutely destroyed. This one looks super old compared to it, but this one's not having any issues. This is the one that's causing the issues. But it seems like someone already had this apart or replaced this. It just confuses me of why it's still having issues. So I'm going to take this apart. Hopefully there's just some debris or something lodged in there and something's getting clogged up. So let's figure this out. I'm going to remove this tie bar so I can move the motors independently of each other and have some space to work over there. There we go. All right, got these two bolts out. Got this bolt out. There's actually one more inside there, but it's not actually there. It's supposed to be there, but it's not, so. There it is. And now I have access to that bolt, and that bolt to take the entire VST off. Oh, nice. This top bolt up here, completely like twisting it with my fingers. Wasn't even remotely tight. All right, well, the top bolt was literally like less than finger tight. It was actually like almost out. That was no good. Let's see if these bottom ones are actually in. Okay, that's good. Well, I got everything apart, but I should have drained the gas first. I knew I should have, but I was just being impatient and stupid. So I got it apart. There is a bunch of gas still in there, and I'm going to try to dump it into this. Let's watch this fiasco. Oh. That actually went amazingly. I don't know if you could see the little bits of debris floating in there. There's definitely a good bit of nastiness down inside here, but not as bad as I was expecting it to be. I was really hoping it would be way worse. Let me see. Oh yeah, there's like, how do I get this rubber piece out? Because there's dirt underneath it. There's dirt in the bottom of this, right down in there. This part doesn't look too bad. This, now, like maybe I can actually get that filter off. I'm gonna have to wait till someone else gets here to help me because I can't do that by myself. Well, this is like, the float is a little bit jammed right there. I don't know if that's from me aggressively pulling this thing out or what. This definitely should not be jammed. Maybe that was my issue. There we go. Oh yeah, there's this screen in here too. Really doesn't look too bad. Spray it with some parts cleaner, toss it back in there. I wish that all these stupid clamps weren't the crimp-on ones, because I'd love to, well, that one doesn't matter because it just goes there. But this one I'd love to get off. I was yanking on it really hard from there. I mean, it's only got a zip tie on that end, but it was not wanting to come off. I guess I could take that one off. After much cursing and slamming my hands and elbows and struggling, we got all the hoses off, got this out. I'm going to lay this on the ground, try to not mess up that other pump, whether that's high pressure or low pressure pump, I don't know, but either way, I have not been able to get this filter off. This took 2 hands on this wrench, cranking as hard as I could while my dad was holding this piece. I don't have anyone to help me, so let's see if we can get this off. Spilling gas everywhere. Come on. I got mosquitoes biting me on every part of my body, and I got no way to get access to this. A lot of people in the past couple videos have told me just stab a screwdriver through and use that to twist it, which I've done that in the past. I remember the last time I did it, I pushed it through, and as I was turning it, it basically just split. It was just tearing the entire housing apart. So I don't really want to go back down that route because I've had bad luck in the past with it. I need better leverage here. Come on. I really need a vice grip right about now. Oh, it moved a tiny bit. I just pulled a weird muscle in my armpit. There we go, finally. Not yet. Oh shit. Oh my gosh, I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought. Look at this. That should not look like that. That looks like it's either been on there for like 11 years, or they used some sort of sealant that just corroded and crusted onto there, but I'm gonna try to clean that up best I can, and let's get that new filter on there. All right, I don't know how well you can see because GoPros are terrible at close-ups, but this thing looks like it got smashed by something right there. It looks like it kind of closed up that opening a little bit more than it should be. Use this on my teeth later. I mean, that's definitely not the right shape that it should be. I don't know, maybe if that's choking off a little tiny bit. I don't know, there's so many different options that could be causing this issue, but I got it as cleaned up as I can. Gonna throw the new filter on here, and I'm gonna start slapping it all back together. Really hoping that something I did is gonna fix my 500 RPM drop. Also, another thing that I noticed is on this side, if you can see, there's a ground wire right there. It grounds the whole bracket here that holds this pump over to the motor, and that was completely missing on this side. There was just an open hole right there. So that wasn't grounded. I mean, it should be grounded through the entire bracket itself. I don't really know why that ground wire is even there, but it's just one thing that I noticed that was different between the two sides. I'm gonna try to add a ground wire there if I can find a bolt that's the right size for that. And then everything should be the same. I'm gonna slap it all together and fire it up. But I really just won't know until there's actual load on the motor. Starting it here and putting it in gear, I'll never be able to tell if it's doing the same thing. I just gotta get it back out on the water and actually get going around 4,000 RPM and see if it's still dropping. Also, I gotta swap out this cowling while I'm already out here with all the tools. That's still from the good old 40-foot boat crash. I got all this assembled again, well, parts of it, but I realized I should probably take this piece apart. I'm not quite exact sure what it was, but the guy in the video did it and was mentioning that it could be a problem, but I don't really understand. It's like a little check valve in here, or 2 little check valves. This thing is so stuck on here, I'm too afraid to take it off. I think it's gonna rip, so I'm gonna leave it and just clean it. There's a little bit of junk on the opposite side of this too that I'm gonna spray out. They do look like they're intact. In the video, he held just this little membrane up to the sun to see if there was any holes through it, but I can't take it off of this because I guarantee it's gonna rip and I do not have a replacement. So I'm going to put this all back together. Gave this part a little clean out. Oh, all right, this little check valve guy with the membranes in it, he's just gonna go back in. Little light cleaning and made sure that there's no tears or anything blatant in those membranes, so I'm not gonna mess with that any further unless I have a rebuild kit in the future. Okay, we got the entire VST put back on. I believe all the hoses are where they're supposed to go. Everything should be good. Got the priming ball here. Hopefully, should fill everything back up. Let's see if she fires up. I don't think we have enough fuel in her yet. Let me try to squeeze this little priming ball a little bit more. So imagine it's got to take a good bit to fill this up. It's got to fill the filter up before it gets to everything else. Let's try it again. I don't got enough fuel. If I wasn't super lazy, I should have just went to the store, filled up like a little jug and put it straight into this to fill it all the way up. All right, I squeezed the priming ball. Why am I talking into this like it's a microphone? I'm losing it. All right, now I have the microphone. I squeezed the priming ball a million times and cycled it a bunch of times, and I just finally decided to come pull the filter back off, and I'm going to fill it up. But I don't have a gas can here, so I gotta go run to the gas station just to fill up probably 10 cents of. Well, I messed something up. Don't know what exactly I did, but I did screw something up. Last night I could not get the motor to fire up no matter what I did. I filled the fuel filter, it's completely full. I know that this fuel pump is working, the other pump inside there is working. I have spark at the spark plugs, but I don't have any fuel at the fuel rails. So the fuel's coming to here, this is all full, but it's not coming out of here over to here. So now I gotta tear this apart and see what I can find. I don't know. I'm hoping maybe it's an issue with the float. I don't know if that would exactly cause this issue, but, oh, found another thing, look at this. There's no nut on the end of that. There should be a nut right there. That's nice. Okay, so here's my findings. Took every single thing apart and I traced out all the lines. I started from scratch. So I disconnected every single thing here, came and squeezed the priming ball. I was under the impression that it was coming up through this line, which was not the case. It actually comes out of here because it was shooting out of here and hitting this motor. So I hooked this hose back up and this was all still closed up. Priming ball was super hard and it wouldn't pump anything through, and this was empty. So that told me that it had to be something between the filter and here, which the only thing there really is the little, I think it's called the reed valve that's on top of the float. I took the bottom of this VST off, removed the float, tried the priming ball, and it immediately pumped through straight into the bowl. So that made me realize that it was something wrong with the float. So I flipped the float upside down, which it looks exactly the same. I don't even really understand this. The difference must be so tiny, but it looked exactly the same. Flipped it over, put it all back together, started pumping the priming ball, and I could hear it filling up the bowl. So then I took this hose off, started the key, and saw it shoot fuel out of here, which is great. It hasn't been doing that because I wasn't getting fuel to the fuel rails. And now, yep, there we go. Got fuel to the freaking fuel rails. If it doesn't start now, that's when I cry. But everything seems to be good. I think it was literally just the stupid mistake of installing the float upside down. Let's grab the little muffs, throw it on the engine, and fire this baby up. Moment of truth, here we go. Hey! That is such a relief. Boom! All right, well, just as I got excited, a check engine code just popped up on the vessel view, but it's firing. That's all that matters, you know? We got to fire it up. Now I need to actually remount the entire VST and put this all back together how it's supposed to be, but it's working, thank God. She's all back together, running good, at least on the hose. Now, I don't know if anything that I just did is even gonna fix the original issue that I was trying to fix, but we'll find that out on the next test drive. But I'm just glad that it's running again. I was starting to get concerned. Back together and looking beautiful as ever. All right, now it is time to finally replace this lower cowling that got smashed whenever the 40-foot boat and I had our little collision. I picked up this one off eBay. It was like 150 bucks shipped here. It's used, it's got some scuffs and scrapes on it, but it's better than this completely crunched in one right here. When the crash happened, the guy did give me $300 cash, spoke 0 words of English, and said, call me tomorrow, I'll take care of everything that's broken, blah, blah, blah. And like, we had no idea what was broken. I knew that the cowling was broken, but I didn't know if anything else was. He definitely doesn't know if anything else was broken. My whole motor could be destroyed right now and he would have no idea. He just kind of was assuming, I guess, and he gave me his number, said, call me tomorrow, I'll take care of everything, I'll fix everything for you, blah, blah, blah. And he has never answered any of my calls. He texted me a couple times, and every time I text him, he's like, oh, yeah, I'll text you next week. I'll text you this coming Monday. Oh, next week. And he's been dodging all my calls, dodging all my texts. And I finally sent him like a kind of mean message. I was like, hey, man, like, there could be a lot of stuff wrong with this motor. I don't know yet. So if you're not willing to at least talk to me on the phone and help me out with this stuff, like, I'll report you to the police because I have his boat number, his name, his phone number, everything. And when I said that, he got super angry and was just being an asshole to me. So the $300 does cover this used eBay piece, but if I were to buy a new OEM one, it was like 450 bucks, which his $300 would not have covered. I could have been an ass and went that route and got the OEM part, but I just don't really care that much. I just really wish via text he would have been more considerate and like just a little bit more respectful, but he was just such an ass. I don't know, that just annoys me. Like I said, the $300 does cover that. And if he was super nice and respectful about it, I'd be like, dude, don't worry about it. It's totally fine. But the fact that he's such an ass via text and being so rude to me, it just makes me want to pursue this farther. It's crazy. I was helping him out. I was doing a good deed, helping him out when he beached his boat, ran aground. I didn't have to help him, but I did, and risked my own boat to do it. You would think he'd be a little bit more respectful, but whatever. I don't care. Let's get this swapped out. You want to see how easy this is to do? 3, 2, 1. And just like that. Nice, new, gently used on eBay special installed. When I took the other one off, this fell out of it, and I cannot for the life of me find out where this came from. It's a pretty chunky piece of aluminum that broke off of somewhere, and I cannot figure out where it came from. I looked everywhere down in there. I don't know. Luckily, there's no like bolts or nuts or anything on it. It was just a piece, I don't know, broke off from somewhere. Ugh. All right, what else? I think I just need to get this thing out on the water for a test drive. Try this motor again while it's under a load. And like I said earlier in this video, just testing it on the muffs, I'll never know if I still have the problem or not until I actually get out there. So I guess test drive is up next. Well, we just pulled up to the Hollywood boat ramp. Decided to switch it up, not go down to Haulover like we always do, and come over to Hollywood, cruise around this way. There's not a bunch of places where we can actually get up to speed, but enough. I think it'll be enough to at least see if the motors are running right. Gonna get this thing ready to go, drop it in. We're doing a solo launch and a solo haul out. I guess. I don't know what that would be called. Solo pulling the boat out. This ramp is a lot steeper than haulover. Launching it here by myself, I know I can do. Putting it back on the ramp is gonna be questionable. This is the part of the videos that I usually don't leave in, but I don't know why I decided to leave it in today. Truck's over there, and I'm walking all the way down here to set up this GoPro, just so that we can have like a 2 or 3 second shot of me backing the truck up. Things you gotta do when you're filming solo. All right, let's undo these lines and push off the dock. Huh. Another problem. I do not have reverse on the port side motor right now. Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. I got nothing on the port side motor. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I don't know what's going on. It's running, it's on. It goes into gear. It goes into reverse, but I can't give it throttle. And actually, I think I know exactly why. I think in this video, I mentioned how there was no nut on the end of one of the, something on the either throttle or linkage to shift. Let's find out real quick. You can see that is not correct. Now it's back on there, but I need a nut for that. All right, it's on there, but I'm gonna see if in my toolkit I just so happen to have a nut that fits that. But I mean, yep, we got throttle as long as that stays on there. All right, I need to drop an anchor because the wind's blowing me around like crazy in here. All right, motors are back up and running. Should be okay for this trip. I didn't have the exact size nut that I needed. I had the same size nut, but not the right thread pitch. So I threaded it on there until it kind of got wedged where it was starting to cross thread itself. It's on there as hard as I can get it with my fingers. I didn't want to actually cross thread it. I also put a zip tie on the inside of the nut too, just so that should also help it not slide over, just in case that nut vibrates off. But I think we'll be all right for just this little test drive, but I definitely got to go find the right size nut and fix that. I literally saw that while I was working on the motors, said, hey, I need to get that, and there should be a nut there, and then I never did. All right, let's finally actually do this test drive. We're pulling out into the ICW right now. I'm gonna go left because a little bit farther down this way you can go fast. I'm not sure how far down that way you have to go before you can go fast. I've never actually gone that way. So we're gonna go north. We have from here down to the bridge. It's not very far, but I'm gonna get on plane and see if this thing starts dropping RPMs again. See if I hopefully fix that issue. All right, let's do it. Uh-oh. Oh, that was really bad. It immediately lost power on one of the motors. What the heck is going on? Oh yeah, the starboard motor died. Come on. As soon as I gave it throttle, the starboard motor died and it will not turn back on. I'm going to, this is not a good day. This is just not a good day. Well, I'm gonna pull over to the side a little bit and drop an anchor again and see if I can figure something out. All right, been troubleshooting for a while now. And it's back up and running. I wish I could tell you I knew what I did, but I honestly have no idea what changed. I didn't really change anything. I disconnected both fuel pumps. I made sure I had fuel pressure at the rails. I had air pressure. I had fuel everywhere it was supposed to be. I just don't understand. I tried firing it up over and over and over and over, and it would not fire up at all. And then I started spraying starter fluid straight into it, and it would fire up until it burnt off that starting fluid and just die again. And then it did that over and over and over. I literally just unplugged and plugged in a bunch of things a bunch of times, and jangled all the connections around and just was like, you know what, I guess this is my last Hail Mary. I started it up and it worked, and it's still running. I don't know if it's gonna die again once I give it throttle, but I gotta throw these cowlings on and I don't know, we'll see. I really wish there would have been some definitive thing that I did that fixed it, but I honestly, I'm at a loss here. I don't know. It's kind of way worse that it happened this way, because if it was something definitive, at least I know what the problem was, but now it's a mystery. It could be just one little loose wire that's worn through, that's shorted out or something. I checked all the fuses I could. Let's try this again. Well, in true boating world fashion, I had to shut both motors off again to put the covers on top. And of course, I go to fire them back up and starboard motor will not fire. It fires up actually, but it just dies right away. I just do not understand what's going on. So I tried it about 10, 15 times. It'll start, it'll idle for a little bit, and then it'll die. It struggles to start too. I feel like it's a fuel issue. It seems like fuel's not getting injected, but there's no way that all the injectors died at once unless it was some sort of fuse or something. I don't know. But we're limping back to the dock with one motor and our tail between our legs. Not all the days out here can be fun. Can I really be mad when it looks like this out here? I mean, this is pretty gorgeous. Not a terrible place to be broken down. And thank goodness I have two motors. So I need to go home and diagnose. But right now, a little bit sad. We're gonna hit the boat. Okay, I got it, but it's still a little bit crooked. There's definitely a lot more space on the starboard side than is on the port side. But what I had to do was go on the dock, pull the lines over and let it get really close to the dock, and then it would slowly start drifting back over top of the trailer. That's not tied on over there. It kind of looks like it is, but it's not. So I had to run over, pull the boat over towards the dock, and then as it was coming towards the dock, run back, jump in the truck, and then pull it out as it was perfectly aligned on the trailer. That's the only thing I could think of right now. I'm being by myself. I didn't really have any other options, and I'm stressed, I'm annoyed. Today did not go so well. Been working on this boat way more than I had hoped, and I'm gonna end the video here. Thanks for watching. All of my frustrations, I can't even talk. Thanks for watching all of my frustrations, and thanks for supporting my channel. Grab some merch if you guys haven't. It's the best way to support my channel. Love you guys, appreciate you all, and I will see you for the next video, hopefully in a much better mood with a fixed boat.